but they've been quite dominant for a while now, and they want to make that journey to M5 a little bit harder here. So ladies and gentlemen, let's gear up for this last match of the day number 2 here in week 1. It's Echo versus Onic Philippines.
Looking at our jungles right here, it's Carl TZ and Ryzen having their own objectives taken early on. And also, we see a leash from Sanford. This is just completely upping up the game in time for Carl TZ to make usage of a higher, faster rotation in the first minute. But this time, they're looking for a way to even hold or even contest this Lethal Wanderer.
Wow, they're so aggressive. They're all here right in the middle, jockeying for position, trying to score the Lethal Wanderer, and it goes over to the M4 World Champions.
Okay. Respected, they're not using the Emperor World Championship skin, so they're using a different one. So this is a good way to see like they want their own identity to even happen here for Onic Philippines. So this is a different variant that we're seeing.
Speaking of different identity though, it is again it's a Lancelot into Echo, right? Against Carl TZ, who, remind you, picked this 48 times so far. So for that, for Ryzen, confidence level should be quite high, especially playing into a Martis here. As you get a quick glimpse of the emblem setup, anything that stands out here, OSX?
It's a good balance of damage for Echo. You have Ruptured as well as Killing Spree for Brody and Martis. One thing that we actually could point out is the adaptive penetration that can be a deadly penetration for Onic Philippines backline. Knowing that there's so much gap that they can do, once Yoshino gets a good setup in the way of the Dragon, that's how things would actually start for Echo's damage to build.
That's what I kind of like, the quantum charge on the Cho. A little bit of a right click here, a little bit of auto attack there, and suddenly you heal up a bit and you start running, right? And that gives you a little bit of a sprint in addition to the flicker.
Yeah, and I think, wow, look, just the pressure they're going to go ahead and put on here. For the first turtle of the game, they don't want to just give this up. What we see a lot of teams do sometimes is just give up these turtles, but this time they're going to go for it.
Not Daddy JP, he says, as he go ahead and take Gem down, cut him to pieces. Half health, Yoshino can't really commit. Ain't no way the Dragon just yet. Super Prince popping. Ryzen steals it from underneath Echo's noses with no casualties just yet. Onic, Ryzen, how?
Wow, wait. To break things down a bit, that was a good entry of the penalty zone from Sanford, but the response of Ryzen and Super Prince using the Feather Airstrike to cover for his own Puncture and Thorn Rose, that was just the damage connecting. That was the thing that he needed to go up against Carl TZ.
Okay, let's not forget. Say what you will about Antipolo's very own Lancelot Man and Carl TZ. Again, the best in the world, only 2-time world champion in the history of the game. But Ryzen has his own special flavor of Lancelot. If you remember, throw back to Season 8 playoffs. Yeah. He was one of the first here to actually bring Lancelot back into the game, right?
Yeah.
Wait, big team fight here. All right, never mind, no dice. Back to it, he has his own combo back then. This was later half of 2021, when he would use Phantom Execution first and then get out alive.
Yeah.
So again, he's also a Lancelot pioneer in that sense.
Well, the thing is there's just so many good Lancelot players here in the Philippines, right, for the most part, and you're going to kind of see this showcase here.
See?
That's what he styles.
Wow.
He's styling.
This is the contention of this match, Ryzen versus Carl TZ. Will the experience be enough for Ryzen alone? And whoa. He's being chased there, being hammered right onto that place. But Gem and Sanford on the EXP, though, getting the attention. But as well as having great coverage, I think Echo has more control of the river and the waves as of this one.
Yeah, not only that, but again, right now, as we get to that 4th minute mark, no one going down just yet. You can see a lot of the teams really both of the teams looking for any of these first blood moments that they can get, because something that we have learned up to this point is, man, momentum can really carry you through up to that mid-game transition, dealing into the late game. And right now, it's pretty much a stalemate, right? But again, that was also on the whims, like you guys mentioned, Ryzen on the fact that he was able to just sweep in, get that turtle. This time around, I think this one they actually contest full force. You can see everybody rotating up here, especially the fact that you've got this one near these gold laners. So at that, we'll have to see how they want to play around this.
Ooh. Oh, they get the kick onto the Apex Predator himself, forcing him to use a penalty zone. Oh, no dice here. Yoshino draws first blood. And now that's a man down, but Carl TZ scores a turtle. It was all but a ruse.
the trigger discipline of Onic Philippines, not getting scared of Sanford's initiation by the ultimate, plus the flicker combo. From that point alone, they had more ways to take him down and to hold him right onto that place. Yoshino and as well as Super Friends responding on the right AoE burst from that point, that was just purely damage. And to think, Nets here, from the first item that he got, instead of going for the Berserker's Fury, he went for the Hasclaws instead, knowing that the passive critical strike grants more 20% attack speed for 2 seconds. This has more hits and more damage for a Bruno at this point in the game.
So right there, okay, they're gonna go.
JP comes in, cancels the feathered airstrike, and Benikudi just pushes as he does. And now Onic are left reeling. Oh, you were saying, Joseph?
Yeah, as they were, you know, they were looking to get their own orange buff because it was taken by Ryzen. So now it looks like Echo's just looking for anything they can, right? First they were thinking, all right, let's take their own orange buff. We got ours stolen. We had that information. We couldn't get a kill that we wanted to, but we got the tier 1 turret in the mid lane, which is still crucial here. How's the items looking out here, though? Hold on, might be some more action here, top side. Looks like they might disengage, unless JP has an idea.
Whoa, he canceled!
Oh, Yoshino!
In, and there's the way of the dragon.
Oh.
Not enough a follow. Sanji with a stolen feathered airstrike, knocking Yoshino out. Welcome to the MPL.
Wow, the reverse usage of that AoE burst right onto Yoshino. That's one thing that you don't want to commit, and if there's no follow from Onic Philippines, that's where Echo would capitalize on. That burst from Sanji is on level 8. Oh, JP trying to jump in for Nets though. They're just holding him through, and they just take the top turret from Onic Philippines.
This is again where Echo really shines, right? Once they start to build this momentum, they usually take off with it. Now it is still relatively small, it's nothing insane or anything like that, but advantage-wise, space to work with, they have it. So Onic has to make a play.
There's a flicker, way of the dragon. Everything but the kitchen sink thrown out.
Oh.
Sanford might even survive.
He lives!
Oh, my God. Gem commits the flicker, last insanity. You were walking away from that one.
Beautiful. A beautiful positioning and a layering of skills. The Onic with the response, but with the trade, Carl Teasy secured that objective. Me hold that thought. Sanji and Yoshino though right on down bottom.
Oh, no. And there's a stolen kick, and Yoshino for going in too deep. That man was folded in half.
Oh yeah, at the point he used that way of the dragon, he just need to recall right in his face right away.
Yeah, I mean, that was very clean at the bottom there to see that kind of unfold. But here's the thing, Onic Philippines, they finally have the Berserker's Fury on Nets, right? We do know that Bruno has been a hot commodity for a lot of these teams, picking him, locking him for a reason. Even when you're down, you still pump out quite a bit of damage with just the 2 items that you usually need, which is the Hasclaws, the Berserker's Fury. And even if you can just go ahead and focus on demolishing some of these turrets, right? Again, they are working against having 3 of their own turrets down. They have to be able to secure some space to work with. Otherwise, they continue to find themselves in this situation, especially when this Lord is up here.
Yeah, speaking of focus though, okay, jumps up.
Post JP! Daddy JP jumping in. Yoshino barely gets out. Torn apart memory, not enough of stacks. And Carl Teasy stays in this bush. I wonder, up, push-ups into a Rico home. Francis, you were saying.
Okay, going back to the build here of Brody, you were talking about focus, JC. Yep, Brody and Benikudi him alone was focused more on the pull and the push, having the BOD on his hand. But second, what for the second inventor he had here is the Malefic Roar. This adds up physical penetration that he can do mostly for team fights. I say this is a better momentum now for Benikudi while they're in mid-game and to go up against the defense department of Onic Philippines. Nets was ahead by 2 core items to make his ball hit much harder on the minutes, even with the kills. But this time around, they need to also respect the fact that Benikudi right now is also scaling by the 200 KDA. So with the focus on the marksmen here, yeah, they need to be careful on where is Daddy JP coming from.
Here we go, concealed play. I wonder, I'm pretty sure they heard it, so they know that Echo occupied that bush. Interesting rotations coming in. Nothing comes for free so far, 9 minutes in.
As they set up here for this first Lord of the game, pretty much Carl Teasy, he's, I used to call this the gold lane experience, but he's just been in vacation mode for most part of the jungle. Right now, he's just going to go ahead and focus on this objective. Does Onic Philippines actually want to contest this? It doesn't look like they do, right? They're putting pressure top side. They do know that they're going to have to poke Gem down quite a bit. He has the immortality as well. You can see it.
And there's a penalty zone answered by a jump coming in. Bouncing ball keeping Ryzen where it needs to be. Thorn throws out and the dash. Not enough range for that torn apart memory to tear apart Onic. Nets pushing in. Lord scored by Echo. Can he pop it? Can he penetrate top lane? The answer is yes. Nets gets away with it. It might be out. And finally Nets might get punished. Sanford go 1v1. Balls against Hammers. Balls against Hammers. Hammers win.
Wow. Nets by himself onto the top lane. If you would notice the positioning of Onic Philippines, Nets, Super Prince, and Gem was protecting him on the other side of the map. They were willing to give up that objective just to gain a push for Nets and for Onic Philippines. They want to have the waves clear for them. They know what's the possibility of Echo using a counter split with this composition. From that point alone, they were also aware about the sacrifices. But Nets, being having his first death on this game, he needs to be careful with that because they're all over the place right now to compensate for the objective trades, even the cross-map objectives with a clear and push. And Ryzen as well is doing cleanup with the waves down bottom, and Ben as well took down a tower. Wow, there's a lot of objectives being taken down from this game.
Yeah, that was worth it. You know, at least Nets got that base turret. Given the situation again, they were down, you know, by a couple thousand gold. He found a kill, almost two actually, and has converted himself to be in a better position, right? Looking at the builds here, are they in a better position now, though, across the board here on OSX?
Okay, for the lead, we're looking at Echo. For the damage, yeah, we have 3 items, well, ahead by 1, well, not ahead. We see Benecutis pick up the Wind of Nature for extra defense, but also for the damage in front of Onic, they actually have a way to answer the burst of Echo. You see, Gem has picked up the Ice Queen one, he has a slow to compensate with his ult with the last insanity. Yep. But for that point alone, they also need to have an extra hold for Yoshino. To look back on his items, he also has the Athena Shield. Oh, just Athena Shield and tough boots with him. So being in the front line, either he could become the sacrificial lamb or he could give vision for the team. But that could be a deep sacrifice at this point in time because Echo right now could actually destroy 2 turrets once they miss that setup that Yoshino can do.
Yeah, this is, again, you're in a situation here. For Onic Philippines, they did pick up some crucial items, and I love that you pointed out with Gem especially, because we know that even with this export, right, you're just trying to get that slow spread across as many people as you can and then pop that last insanity. So that's crucial because now we're really paying attention to these lore takes. Biggest thing they need to do, step 1 here, before they do that, is get the tier 1 down if they can, right? They need some space to work around here. Also, the Wind of Nature being picked up by Nets will really help them deal with a lot of the initiation coming out from Echo.
If there's something that we should start considering, and this will come into play when we think of how the teams will use this coming up, Lord, right? About 5 seconds from now. There's a stat that I'd like to introduce into this game, which is the BDP. In addition to the win rate probability, you have to consider the BDP. The backdoor potential.
Backdoor
because
potential.
Both gold laners are notorious for said activity, right? So watch out for Nets, watch out for Benecutis. JP here knows exactly where he is, and all right, close engage. We haven't really seen much action just yet. Sanford stunned here. There's a stolen feathered airstrike as Yoshino gets out of range.
Yeah, good response though. Sanji utilizing the ultimate of the Farsa to gain vision for Echo. Meanwhile, Carl T's and Ryzen, they're on a hold and a showdown. Oh, Gem might be the one to fall down here, but the response of Super Prince. Good coverage of response for the AoE.
He lives, man. Again, you got away with it. Echo spent so much to try and kill Onyx, XP laner, and he remains deathless still. 1-0-1.
Yeah, he's deathless, but now it's a little scary, right? He doesn't have that mortality. They're going to retaliate here, though.
Go, Daddy JP jumping back into the fray. Drawing a line between Echo and Onic, trying to contest. Here comes Gem. He does have another last insanity. Ready, locked and loaded. JP jumping in one more time. And now the kicks, but the penalty zone. Sanford hammering away. Look at this. There's 2 fights happening. Inside, outside the base. The jungle. JP popped by Gem. Nets taken out by Sanford. Hammers win one more time. And Carl Deasy gets slain by Ryzen. And Yoshino delayed damage. But it was a trade. 4 for 2. 4 for 2. Sanford left. Gem is still standing. What's going on? How did this happen? How did it all came to be? And just like that, they are back to the split push. It's just Ryzen against the world.
Ryzen is just on top, trying to push here. Oh, the Maze of Echo.
Oh, it's
Ryzen.
in 3 seconds. Oh, you can count the seconds.
The BDP.
You can count the attacks. The backdoor play, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Onic takes game 1.